restarting. I don't know why. Okay, maybe the laptop is also very fed up with all of this. Okay, never mind. Sorry, sorry to keep you waiting. Can you hear my voice loud and clear?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm very, very sorry. I don't know what happened. In last few days, my laptop is going haywire. Okay, it's going crazy. Sometimes it restart without suddenly restart the system, and then I need to um, check and scan for the defects lah. Right. So I will, like usual, I will try to share my screen first. Share. Okay, now can you see my screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let me join the class first using my own phone. All right. Okay. Okay, before I start, do you notice the new announcement I just gave you, sent to you via Telegram? Okay, I will just show you the new announcement or the message. This message is from our PK co-curriculum, Miss Lim Chiung. And then there is a quiz, quiz cabaran sehat peringkat kebangsaan. Okay, these are the quizzes. Okay, Minda Sihat. So the quiz start at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. So I urge you, okay, I urge you to join the quiz whenever possible. All right, and then your participation will be recorded in our co-curriculum system. Okay, and you will get the e-certificate for your participation in the quiz today. Okay, make sure if available, if you can, please join the quiz. And then if you have any question, and then you can ask me, okay, about the quiz. Okay, and then the marks that, if you get your mark 40 marks and above, you will get the e-certificate. And then for the participation level at national level lah, peringkat kebangsaan. Okay, dah here mendapat e-sijil penyertaan peringkat kebangsaan, murid yang memperolehi minimal 40 markah. 40 markah kamu akan dapat sijil dan akan dapat penyertaan di peringkat kebangsaan. National level participation. Okay, we'll start at 3 to 5 p.m. today. At the same time all over the country lah, all over Malaysia. Okay, and then we have the link here, gg.gg, Minda Sihat kategori menengah lah not kategori rendah kategori menengah. Okay, I hope I hope you all can join and participate the quiz today, and then get the participation here for today, right? Make sure. Right? Okay. Can I continue with the lesson today?
Yes.
Okay, good. 3 p.m. Today. If you have any question, you can ask me, no problem. Okay, so I just want to continue the lessons for today. Just to what we call recall our lesson yesterday, 7.1. We are still in chapter 7. That is, we are learning about the air around us. And then 7.1, 7.1, we learn about the composition of air, right? And then make sure you remember the composition of air consists of 5 main components of air, that is nitrogen, and then we have oxygen, carbon dioxide, okay, and inert gas. Make sure you remember the percentage, and then the type of gas in our air composition, right? Okay. So give me 1 minute. Okay, class, you still there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, so many interference today. Sorry. Okay, 7.1, again, you must remember the composition of air. Number 2, you must also try to remember the importance of gases. There are 4 main gases in our composition of air, namely oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and inert gas. Make sure you understand what type of gas and that it function, the uses of gas. And then the number 3, we also already learned about the carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. Make sure you understand and identify which process produce oxygen and use oxygen. And then for carbon cycle, which process use carbon dioxide and then release the carbon dioxide. Okay, make sure you understand the cycle, the carbon cycle, and then the oxygen cycle. And then also we already learned what happens if we interfere with the normal cycle of carbon and oxygen. Okay, for example, because we need oxygen, so there is only one, if you still remember, there is only one, what we call there is only one process that produce oxygen. You still remember? There is only one process produce oxygen. We call it photosynthesis. And then photosynthesis only occur in green plant. All right. That's why what happened, for example, human try to interfere with the original cycle of oxygen and carbon. They cut down all the tree, and then the production or the release of oxygen is what we call disturbed. So you must try to understand how to prevent the interference, okay, and then way to prevent the interference of carbon and oxygen cycle. All right, you must understand that 7.1, very easy topic. Okay, if you do not understand, you can always ask me later. Okay, now we are going to learn 7.2 about combustion. Okay, combustion. Okay, so what we're going to learn in combustion, we want to try to understand what is combustion, number 1. And then number 2, we are going to learn about what is the condition need for combustion. Number 3, the condition of combustion with the principal use in the manufacture of the fire extinguisher. And then number 4, practice safety measure to prevent the occurrence of fire. Okay, very easy with this one, right? So what is combustion? This a reaction. Combustion is the reaction that occur when a substance is heated. Okay, when the substance is heated, any substance or any what we call flammable or what we call flammable material, meaning that the material that is able to be burned. Okay, when it is heated, at the same time there is a presence of oxygen. Okay, will produce heat energy and light energy. This is what we call by combustion. Okay, when a substance is heated in the presence of oxygen, which produce heat energy and light energy. So this is what we call by combustion. When you burn something, when you burn, for example, you burn a wood, that is a combustion. Combustion is occurring when you try to burn wood or you try to burn paper. Okay. Next one is the 3 conditions need for combustion. So this is very important. There are 3 conditions need to in order to burn or to combust the material. Okay. Number 1, you must have. Okay. Number 1, you must have oxygen. This is the requirement for combustion. Number 2, you must have heat. And then number 3, you must have fuel. Okay, this is what we call the triangle of combustion, or the requirement of combustion. Okay, because why? If we do not have one of these, for example, oxygen is not present. If the oxygen is not present, fuel is present, heat is present, but oxygen is not present, there will be no combustion. There will be no burning. You cannot burn something if one of the requirement is absent. Can you understand me? Can you understand in class? Must have these 3 requirements: oxygen, fuel, and heat. Okay. Without one of these requirements, there will be no burning. There will be no combustion. Oxygen, fuel, and heat. All right. Later on, we try to understand teach you what is the example of fuel and example of heat. Okay. Okay, next one. I will skip this experiment first. Okay, next one is fire extinguisher, right? What is the fire extinguisher? Fire extinguisher is the tool, protective tool, that is used to put out a fire or handle a small fire, usually during an emergency. Okay, this is a type of fire extinguisher. Okay. Any problem?
No.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so you must try to remember. I think you already see this fire extinguisher many times, okay, in the lab, in the school, and maybe inside your house, shop. So you must understand the type of fire extinguisher for different sources of fire. Okay, what is the main purpose of fire extinguisher? We want to extinguish, or we want to put out the fire. This is the main objective of fire extinguisher. You still remember what is the requirement for the combustion? Still remember? Just now I just taught you using the triangle here. Okay, the requirement is oxygen, and then you must have heat, and then you must have fuel. This is the requirement for what we call requirement for combustion. Sorry. Okay, this is what we call the requirement for combustion. We must have these three. Okay, so we use fire extinguisher if we manage to stop, if we manage to what we call stop these three requirement, one of these three requirement, so there will be no combustion. For example, if there is no oxygen, then there is no what? If there is no oxygen, then there is no combustion, there is no fire. Okay, can you understand this? Huh? If there is no oxygen, then there is no fire. Right? How about if there is no heat? No heat, you got oxygen, you got the fuel, but there is no heat. What happened? Got combustion or no combustion?
No.
Yes, no combustion. Okay. You got the heat. You got the oxygen. Got oxygen, and then you got the fuel, but no heat. There is no combustion. What if there is oxygen, and then there is heat, and then there is no fuel? Is there any combustion happen?
No.
Also, there is no combustion. Okay, so the purpose of fire extinguisher is to stop, all right, or to block one of these three requirements. If the fire if the fire extinguisher able to stop more than two, for example, more than one, maybe there is no fuel, there is no heat, only oxygen, is much better. But at least, class, at least we able to stop one of these three requirements, then there is no combustion. This is what I call it what we call the purpose of fire extinguisher. Okay, in order to stop the fire, you must stop one of these three requirements. Okay, either oxygen, fuel, or heat. You understand me? That's why you need to remember the three requirement of what we call combustion. Okay, class? Can right. So next one. Type of fire extinguisher for different sources of fire. Okay. So table number 1 is the material on fire. What type of material on fire? Okay. Do you still remember the state of matter? We have 3 states of matter, right? We have solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, this is the type, or the what we call the type of material on fire. Number 2 is the example of material, and then number 3 is the type of the fire extinguisher. Okay, we take a look. A, the first one, What is the material on fire? If the material in the form of solid, for example, wood, cloth, and paper. Okay, so what type of fire extinguisher is suitable for putting out the fire? Water and dry powder. After that, I will show you what is the example of dry powder. Okay, so if you use water, you use dry powder, is a very suitable to put out the fire or the combustion from wood, cloth, and paper, from the solid material. Okay, class? Can you understand this? B, what happened if the material or the fire come from liquid, such as oil, varnish, and paint? Okay, can you use water? Can you use water to put out the fire from oil? Can or cannot? You use water. Can or cannot, class? Cannot, right? Okay. What are the type of fire extinguisher? We can use foam, dry powder, and carbon dioxide. Please remember here, not all fire can be put out by water. Okay, not all fire can be put out using water. Okay, for example, liquid materials such as oil, varnish, and paint. Oil, varnish, and paint. There are 3 types of extinguisher suitable to put out the fire: foam, dry powder, and carbon dioxide. Okay, how about C? Okay. Okay. Material on fire is from the gas, for example, propane, acetylene, and methane. Okay. What are the fire extinguishers suitable? Foam, dry powder, and carbon dioxide. Okay, and then the last one, the material on fire from metals such as potassium, sodium, magnesium, and calcium. The fire extinguisher suitable is dry powder and dry sand. Okay, you must try to remember what type of fire extinguisher is able to put out many type of fire from many material, many type of substance. Okay, is it okay, class?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay, next. Okay, again, combustion need oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, so what is the example of fuel, class? Oxygen, for example, very easy, right? Because you have oxygen all around us. Okay, in topic 7.1, oxygen consists how many percent of composition of air? How many percent oxygen in air, class? You still remember? 20, 21%. You still remember? Oxygen in the air is consists of 21%. So that there are air around us, the air, oxygen in the air. Okay, how about fuel? Where do you get the fuel? For example, oxygen. The main sources of oxygen in our air, in the air. Okay, how about fuel? Where do you get the fuel? You give me one example of fuel. For example, fuel, class, remember, I will try to zoom it to you. Okay, wait, Coal, yes, of course. Okay, now, blue color. Okay, oxygen, we get oxygen, the main source of oxygen is in the air, okay? Because air consists of 21% of oxygen in the air, and then fuel. Fuel, yes, of course, for example, the coal, okay? For example, any substance, you remember class, any substance that able to be burned. For example, coal. How about wood? Now, wood is a fuel. And then how about paper? Paper also can burn, right? Any, what we call, any material that can be burned, okay, any material that can be burned is a example of fuel. Not just coal, not just paper, not just petrol or oil. Any material that can be burned, we consider as fuel. For example, you maybe inside your home, the what we call the fire. You can see the fire on the in the factory, the firehouse. Many material inside the house is made from what we call flammable substance. Flammable substance is the things that easy to be burned. Plastic. What else you think? Example of fuel. You just look around your house. Just look around your house. The plastic, wood, paper, and then maybe a paper, books. This is all material that are easy to burn. We call it flammable, and then we consider this as fuel. Do you understand this, class? Right? And then the next one is heat. When you have the heat, okay, when there is enough heat, usually the heat usually come from fire lah, come from fire, from electrical spark, okay, and then from friction, okay, from friction. If you have enough friction, that what we call produce the heat, and then if the heat is high enough, okay, if the heat high enough, and then there is a fuel, and then there is an oxygen, so it will combust. Okay, it will what we call become flame. It will become flammable. Okay, you just remember this. Combustion need these three. Combustion need these three requirement. Oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, next. Okay. Therefore, fire can be extinguished by removing one of the condition need for combustion. Like I said earlier, if you want to stop the fire, you must stop either oxygen, heat, or fuel. Okay. What are the technique? Number one is covering. You want to cut off the supply of fuel. We want to cut off the supply of oxygen, so you can cover the fire with what? With a fire blanket, for example, with a wet sack, mud, sand, soil, or foam. The goals here is to stop the supply of oxygen. You cover it. Okay. When there is no oxygen, then the fire will stop. Then the fire will extinguish. Okay. Number 2, B is cooling. We try to cool the surface of the burning material by spraying water or a layer of carbon dioxide. Because you still remember what is the requirement for combustion? Heat, right? If you stop the heat, then there will be no combustion. There will be no fire. So how to cool the surface? That's why sometimes they use water. They use the water. They spray it with a layer of carbon dioxide or water. Okay. And then C, reducing the amount of burning material. Reducing the amount of burning material, or cutting off the sources of fuel. Okay. This technique can be used by separating the burning material, keeping away material that have not burned yet, and cutting off supply of gas and oil. Okay. Number 3 technique is we want to cut the supply of fuel. That's why sometimes if you see the house over here, for example, if I can draw you the picture, sometimes all right, sometimes there is a house over here. Okay, there are two different house. Okay, for example, there are two different house. Two different house. Example lah, I just draw you the house. Adjacent, side by side. Okay, side by side. This is the first house, and then this is the second house. All right. And then, for example, the house number 2 is already burned. It's already on fire. Okay, house number 2 is already on fire. Okay, there are big fire. Maybe the fire, what we call the firefighter. The firefighter come in late. And then what happened? Sometimes When the firefighter come, the firefighter come and then they bring the hose, right? They bring the hose here and then they spray the water at the burning house. They spray the water and then at the same time, all right? At the same time also there is another firefighter carrying the same hose, right? Carrying the same hose. They try to spray water to the house beside it. Yeah? Can you see the difference here? Yeah? Can you see the what they are going to achieve? Huh? Sometimes, all right, they want to, why they want to spray the water here? The water from the nearby house. Why? Huh? At the same time, they spray water at nearby house. Why do you think, why the firefighter spray the water at nearby house? House number 2 here. Why do you think? Sometimes. Huh? Because what?
To cool down the house?
Yes, they want to cool down the house, so that the house beside the burning house will not catch the fire. Okay. If they what we call if they only continue to put out fire from house number 1 without giving attention to the house number 2, maybe later on house number 2 also catch fire. That's why one of the what we call one of the option to cool down the nearby houses so that the houses over here will not catch fire. Okay, can you understand this? Can okay, that is one example. Okay, so again, in order to extinguish or in order to put off the fire, we need to what? We need to cut off the sources of oxygen, or to cut the sources of heat, or to cut the sources of fuel. If you cut one of these 3 requirements of combustion, the fire will be extinguished, will be stopped. Okay, can you understand this, class? Can Okay, very good. So, last one for today topic, the safety measure to prevent the occurrence of fire. Okay, we can prevent the occurrence of fire by what? Number 1, keep away flammable substance from fire. What is the example of flammable substance? Such as cloth, such as plastic, and then wood. Please make sure keep it away from the sources of fire, or keep it away from the sources of intense heat. Intense heat. Apa ini? Suhu yang panas pun tak boleh sangat. Right. Number 2, always be aware of your electrical appliances. Okay, always be aware. For example, your microwave oven, your what we call you know, any what we call electrical appliance, you must keep it. Do not short circuit it. Okay, when there is a spark, it will maybe start a fire. Okay, number 3, do not put plug in too many electrical appliances to a single electrical sources. Okay, like the picture over here, you just plug in too many devices in one plug. It is not advisable, especially if you use very high power device, electrical device, such as what? Such as cooker, rice cooker, okay, such as iron, okay, and then air condition or whatever. Okay. Number 4, install fire alarm and smoke detector at home. All right. Number 5, do not throw away cigarette butt when they are still burning. This is for the smoker lah, for the smoker. It is not advisable for you to smoke lah, but if smoker, especially for the smoker, they always try just throw the cigarette butt, and then the cigarette butt will catch the fire. Okay, if the cigarette butt throw in the bushes, for example. And then The last one, keep match and lighter in a safe place. You must keep the matches and lighter in the safe place. Please prevent from the little younger children. Keep away from the children, the lighter, so that it won't catch fire. Okay? You understand this, class? Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I will stop here. If you have any question, you can always ask me in our Telegram group. So I will see you all again on Friday. Okay, can exercise and extra information. I will give. I will what we call send the information and the exercise on our Telegram group lah. Okay, class. Yeah. Okay. So we stop here. Okay. Thank you very much. See you all on Friday. Sorry for the disturbance and the technical issues. I will try to solve it as soon as possible. Thank you very much. You can leave the class now. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.